guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making an updated version of my fluffy gluten-free sandwich bread recipe, which is one of my most popular recipes and thousands of you have already made it. But the most commonly asked question in the comments has been which flour blend did I use to make the bread? And since I live in Finland and there isn't one gluten-free flour blend that would be available globally, I thought we could make our own flour blend so that everyone can make this bread. Making your own flour blend is super easy. We only need 4 ingredients. This flour blend works perfectly in bread, pancakes, cookies, muffins, pretty much anything. We need rice flour, non-GMO corn flour, potato starch, and psyllium husk powder. Psyllium husk works as a binding agent and gives gluten-free dough elasticity and also prevents curdly and dry results. So I'd say this is the secret ingredient to making the best gluten-free baked goods. So we need 2 cups of the rice flour, and 1 cup of the corn flour, and 1 cup of the potato starch, and lastly 3 tablespoons of the psyllium husk powder. And then we just mix well. And here is the ready flour blend. I like to store it in airtight glass jars. Every time I use the flour, I always shake the jar a little bit to make sure it's well combined. Now we have the ready flour blend, so we can start making the bread. First, we're going to mix together warm water and dry yeast. This dry yeast needs the water to be 42 Celsius degrees, but always check your yeast packaging to see what the water temperature should be. And I always use a thermometer to make sure I have the right temperature. Now we have it at 42 degrees, so we can add the yeast. And then we just stir. We're going to stir until the yeast is completely dissolved in the water. Now it looks pretty good. Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of maple syrup and 3 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 teaspoons of salt. And then we stir again. Next, we're going to add 2.5 cups of our flour blend. Next, we mix with a mixer for about 2 minutes. At this point, the dough should look like this. Lastly, we're adding 2 egg whites. The egg whites are used to provide structure, moisture, and a light texture. As the flour doesn't contain gluten, it requires a replacement to hold the bread's shape and support its rise. And then we mix again for 2 minutes. The ready dough should look like this. Then we're going to scoop the dough into a little pan. You can either grease the pan or then line it with parchment paper. I like to line it with parchment paper because then it's just easier to get the bread out of the pan. Next, we let the bread rise uncovered for 40 minutes. Now that the bread has risen very nicely, we're going to bake it at 200 Celsius degrees, 390 in Fahrenheit for about 40 to 45 minutes. Here is the ready bread. I let it cool down in the pan for about 15 minutes. And this is how the ready bread looks like. It's so soft and fluffy. I store this bread in an airtight container in room temperature, but you can also freeze it, but slice it first so it's easier to reheat it in the toaster. I'll add the written recipe to the description box. I hope you enjoy.